Okay. I was not born in sunny España. My mother came from Rovno, Gubernia. But now I'm here, I'm dancing the tango. Die-de-die, dee-die-de-die, I am easily assimilated. I am so easily assimilated. I never learned a human language. My mother spoke in High Middle Polish. In 1/2 hour I'm talking in Spanish. Por favor, toreador, I am easily assimilated. I am so easily assimilated. It's easy, it's ever so easy. I'm Spanish, I'm suddenly Spanish. And you must be Spanish too. Do like the natives do. These days you have to be in the majority. Tus labios rubí, Raifiatal takt, montre cher à mi. Oui, oui, si, si, ya, 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 yes, yes, that, je ne sais quoi. A long way from Rovno, Gubernia. Tus labios rubí, dos rosas que se abran a mí, conquistan mi corazón y solo con una vivida canción de tus labios rubí. Rubí, Ole, gracias.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Now for the next number. You bet. Now you're going to hear something really high.
If I may. Maybe not. It's on. But I was gonna set it up.
What? You want to introduce her? Thank you, everyone. And now I'd like to introduce Diane Penning. Diane, let's give a big hand for Diane Penning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. If I may just set this up for you. I know maybe not everybody's listening, but Cunegonda, the character that I'm playing, is of noble birth. And as such, she should be living in a castle somewhere, married to a duke. However, through a series of very unfortunate events, she finds herself being kept by two very wealthy men. And she's very, very sad about this. However, there are some perks to being kept by two very wealthy men. And so she's a bit confused. And in the end, she decides to just make the best of it. Pearls and ruby rings. How can worldly things take the place of honor lost? Can they compensate for my fallen state, purchased as they were at such an awful cost? Bracelets, lavaliers, can they dry my tears? Can they blind my eyes to shame? Can the brightest brooch shield me from reproach? Can the purest diamond purify my name? And yet, of course, these trinkets are endearing. I'm oh so glad my sapphire is a star. I'd rather like the 20-carat earring. If I'm not pure, at least my jewels are. Enough, enough. I'll take their diamond necklace and show my noble stuff, my Bingham richness. Observe how bravely I conceal the dreadful, dreadful shame I feel.
Let's give Diane Penning, Linn Keller, and the GRCC Concert Choir another hand. Good evening, everyone. I know some of you are still eating and getting some beverages, but if we could have everyone line up around the atrium. My name is Trish Castiglione, and I work at the foundation, the Director of Annual Giving, and I really want to thank everyone for your support this evening and coming out to celebrate Fred and Linn Keller. So thank you and enjoy the program. And Dave Custer, the president of our foundation board, please welcome him with a round of applause.
Good evening. I want to thank you and welcome you for coming tonight. This is our 6th annual event, and it's always a fun night and a great night talking to the culinary students and tasting their works, and it's just a fun night. I know some of you will be leaving maybe a little early to watch a debate or a baseball game, but do yourself a favor. Before you leave, go in the Heritage there. After you've eaten the food back here, go in and get some fabulous desserts prepared by our culinary students. So you'll be doing yourself a favor. As I said, this is our 6th event. We've changed the name of it to a scholarship theme. And you should know that everything, all the proceeds that we make off this night go toward scholarships for students that need them so desperately. So, and there's a lot of them, as you might imagine. So we thank you for your support, and the students who will receive these scholarships, thank you. And thank you, Fred and Linn. Thank you for everything that you do, both for the college and the community. Fred, you've always been there whenever we've needed you, and we thank you for that. And Linn and Diane Penning and the Grand Rapids Community College Concert Choir, we thank you for your performance tonight. It was great hearing that, and you did a good job. We also need to thank our sponsors and our host committee, and I think they might be scrolling on the screen, so without them, we certainly couldn't put on this night. As many of you know, Andy Bound, our executive director of the foundation, has left the college. Andy's got a career path where his goal is to be a community college president someday. And to pursue that path, he has moved to a community college in Indiana to be a chancellor down there. And we're going to miss Andy, but we wish him well. And until we find a replacement, Kathy Mullins, who's Steve Ender's right-hand person, will be acting as interim director. Kathy couldn't be here tonight. She's actually at a national community college board conference along with many of our board members. But those of you that are involved in the foundation probably know Kathy, and you'll enjoy working with her. Finally, I want to recognize the Board of Trustees. As I said, many of them are at this national conference, and also the Community College Foundation trustees. So those of you that are here, just kind of wave your hand, and we'll give you a nice applause. Next, we have a video honoring Fred and Linn, and we direct your attention to the screen to view that.
Over the last several decades at Grand Rapids Community College, a great deal of change has taken place. New buildings have been built, campuses added, student numbers have grown. Even 3 different individuals have served in the role of president of the college. During all of this change, 2 individuals have provided a constant thread of support to the efforts of GRCC, Fred and Linn Keller. As a community, we have benefited from their generosity and talent, whether we've witnessed this through the arts or efforts around sustainability.
How do we do something worthwhile doing and really truly make it good business?
Or even on the river that our community and college are named after. In fact, this college has often been the conduit through which their gifts are shared.
And it's this kind of facility that this community needs in order to strengthen its ability to work together as a community.
From the building of the Wisner-Bottrell Applied Technology Center.
So this is the general idea of what we're going to be working at within the Delta Strategy.
To the decades of community work by the Delta Strategy.
We've got to get young people playing Bach, and we've got to have a reason for them to play Bach other than it's good for them.
To the biennial Bach Festival. To support for music education and the Alfred P. Smith Award.
Thank you so much for this honor.
We've got a gem in our community college. It has a huge, rich history.
To helping lead GRCC's latest capital campaign.
We need to teach people about how to eat healthy, where to get their food.
To supporting innovation through the Edison Award-winning Keller Futures Center.
We need to be able to figure out
how we can have a continuum of education happening throughout our organizations.
To never-ending support for increasing the educational attainment of our citizens.
Who is this Hildegard? Where did she come from? Why is she wearing that habit?
To performances in partnership with actors at Spectrum Theater and GRCC's theater program.
If I go to these places and come back, here's what I see. Lines.
To support for our Woodrick Diversity Learning Center. For decades, Fred and Linn have embodied, through GRCC, a quote attributed to John Wesley. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. On behalf of our students and our community, thank you both for living up to those standards.
As I said, Fred and Linn have always been there when we needed them, and we are so appreciative of that. And thank you to our video department here at the college for doing a nice job documenting that. It's my great pleasure now to introduce my good friend, the president of the college, Steve Ender.
Welcome and good evening, everyone. This is the fourth Scholarfest, as we now call it, that I've attended, and they've all been very special. But as you know, Karen and I came to town just 4 years ago, so the first three, we were honoring folks that I really had not had an opportunity to develop a relationship that just had a lot of depth and personal connection. And so tonight, this is really special for me, and I know for my wife Karen, because Fred and Linn Keller have been real special people to us, not only to this institution and to this institution for a long time. Their commitment has been demonstrated through so many different acts of generosity, but also from an idea perspective. And you have to know what I love about both these people is they probably walk the walk in their lives better than any couple I've ever met as a couple. I can't brush my teeth in the morning now without thinking about Fred Keller, because you know, Steve, you really have to turn the water off when you brush your teeth, you know. And I will live with that for the rest of my life. So Fred, you didn't know it, but I think about you every morning as I go through my morning rituals. But first let me speak a bit about Fred. As you know, I mean, if you know Fred Keller, you know he's an idea person, first and foremost. And I felt very fortunate coming to Grand Rapids and a new person to this community to early on begin to develop a relationship with Fred. Because here was a guy that I felt immediately very comfortable talking about issues that I was trying to sort through in my mind, and felt like, wow, I've really met someone who I think, as we all do, and we look for significant folks that bouncing ideas off of them, at the end of the day, always makes your thinking sharper and better and more decisive, if you will. And so Fred has been that person for me in many different occasions over the past 4 years now. And that's something, Fred, that I value in ways that I don't know how to communicate, but it's important for you to know that. And so I didn't know about Linn for probably, I mean, I knew there was a Linn out there, but I didn't know Linn for, several months, maybe longer. But I had heard a lot about Linn. And so I was trying to figure out, as I heard about Linn, how did Fred and Linn get together? You know, there's this kind of yin-yang thing going on just a little bit in this relationship. And so I met Linn, and then I started to figure it all out. I mean, Linn, you're probably the most accepting person in some ways of anybody that I've ever met. The most patient person that I've ever met, and has the moxie to stand up to a big, tall Fred Keller and speak your mind. And I just love that, quite frankly. So then Karen and I had the opportunity to meet Linn, but then to meet them as a couple. And I know that I can say for both of us, it's been just a very special relationship. So you continue to give to us, and I guess more importantly, but sometimes I don't know really, to this college and to this town, but I know what you're giving to us is very, very special, and we treasure it, and I want you both to know that. We are very fortunate to have the Kellers, as you know, in Grand Rapids, in this community, for their individual contributions and for their contributions as a couple. And I just take great pride that tonight we can honor this couple by hosting this event in their name and in a way to celebrate all the good work that they've done for Grand Rapids Community College. So let me first, yeah. And so I know that Fred has some things to say, but I think I'm going to ask Linn first if she has anything that she'd like to add to tonight's festivities. Linn?
Well. Yes, as Fred said when Diane finished Glitter and Be Gay, he said, well, she had to work a lot harder than you, didn't she? Anyway, I love being here. I just love the feeling that all of us coming together to make this institution even a better place than it already is, and it's stellar. Thank you, Steve, for all that you do all the time for this institution. I'm amazed. And I have to admit that I'm just a singer, so I only know folks in the music department. And I want to say that that music department is amazing. Yes. Now, for anyone in this room who doesn't know, Diane Penning is one of your faculty members. Hello. She teaches voice here, and you heard pianists tonight, but you heard the concert choir tonight, and you heard Dr. Steve Barton, who conducts the concert choir and loves every minute of what he's doing. And thank you, Steve, for so much. And I've known Kevin Dobrev for quite a while, and he makes it, well, I won't, should I tell them how we know each other so well? We go to the same hairdresser, and we keep running into each other there. But anyway, other than that, I want to say that he called me up or sent me an email last year and said, could I possibly help this soprano who has a chance to go to Italy? She's so good, and she's from this program. So I made arrangements for her to receive some travel money so she could go take part in an opera program in Italy for the summer, and she got to sing a lead in the Puccini opera Suor Angelica. So I was very, very impressed that the singers that come out of this program are really top-notch. And I'm constantly amazed that so much good singing and good piano playing and good instrumental instruction is going on in a building that's falling down around their ears. So I am here tonight to say, let's refurbish that silly old building. Come on, I want to hear it we got to make it happen, okay? Thank you. That's all I have to say. Let's give them a new music building, and they'll keep making music. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you all, and thank you, Steve, for those very
touching personal remarks. I appreciate that very much. It's not very often that someone comes to town and is able to catch the spirit of the community quite so quickly, and that's something that you have done so well and have done it so masterfully well. Faced with all the kinds of problems that a community college faces, but doing it in a way which is sensitive to people, sensitive to the needs of the community, and sensitive to the needs of the college. And I thank you for this honor. We're really humbled. It's very meaningful to me, but it's also energizing because we have, as a community, a gem in this community college, and we have an opportunity to make sure that this community college does not just what it's been doing, but something much more important for the future. Because we have challenges in this community. We have challenges that have been defined by Talent 2025 as follows. The idea is that we've got about 25% of our workforce that is now at a bachelor's degree or above, about 11%, sorry, about 24%, about 11% is at an associate's degree, about 35% altogether. That number has to grow to about 45% over the next 12, 14 years. And we need to add to that, at the same time, a number of certificates, so that it's estimated that by 2025, we need to have as much as 64% of our workforce having a certificate or better coming in post-secondary. That's a significant, steep rise that we need to have. And this college is at the heart of that need. We have a demand for those kinds of services coming in the community. And we have this gem of an institution called the Grand Rapids Community College that is able to meet that need. And all it needs is our support. We have the opportunity to make that happen. And for that, I am grateful. It is wonderful to be working with this college. You got some really nice old footage. I remember this. I remember the shovels going in for the groundbreaking of this, and how proud we were to see this state-of-the-art building now 25 years old, close to it. It makes you feel old, but it is a great institution. It's a great college. It has great leadership. There is a great need, and I just feel privileged and honored to be able to be here, to be playing a part of its future. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting community college.
Lynn and Fred, thank you very much. So a couple of things that I would like to bring to our attention. First, you have the opportunity to eat food tonight prepared by what I think is one of the best culinary programs in the country. Before you leave tonight, I think it's down that hallway. You'll find the new culinary teaching amphitheater, the Pietro and Regina teaching amphitheater for our culinary arts program. Peter Sakia's family helped us with a significant gift to make that a reality for our students and faculty. And if you have not been into that facility tonight, I'd really encourage you to visit there. Then you have been entertained by students in our music program. This is about students, folks, at the end of the day. It's really why we do what we do, and I continue to believe this and say it at every chance I get. Grand Rapids Community College will provide you a university quality institution through a community college philosophy of really high touch and high engagement with our students as we work with them as they move towards their path of success. So we're involved with something much bigger than ourselves. We're involved with the future of this region. I think this community college has played a large and substantial role as to where this region is today. Quite frankly, we'll be 100 years old in a couple of years. That's going to be a beautiful celebration. Certainly hope we can announce that we are going to do the music building at that time and some other projects that we really want to complete at the institution. You know, when I asked Linn about this prior, I said, Linn, Plan A is a millage campaign. Plan B is we're going to go raise the money. Are you with me with both plans? And she signed up just like that. So now we're off to Plan B in that regard. The Kellers have always stepped up for this institution. So as we close this gathering, please know that there's plenty of food and drink. Desserts are in the Heritage Restaurant, so we'll certainly want you to check that out before you leave tonight. And we would ask that you be quite, what? theater students. And what I say to all that is I rest my case. Bravo, students. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the evening. Superb. Absolutely superb. Thank you.